Robo's Rants 37, Greater Fiat Explanation, and it's March 28th here. I've been over what Fiat is in the past, but I think now that it's falling apart around our ears, perhaps a little bit more detail might be required. So first of all, back in 2009, when the Fed pumped $700 billion into the market to try and stave off collapse, a public examination of that money, of what actually happened to it and how they geared it, meant that the stimulus package was actually 29 trillion, a 41x increase on what was said to be put into the market. Well, using that same gearing, 41x, at the moment the Fed are planning to release 6 trillion. 4 trillion just to liquidate the markets into the repo markets and to buy assets to prop up banks, and 2 trillion at the front. Well, the 41x of that takes us to $250 trillion worth of market stimulus. That is a colossal amount of, this is an unfathomable amount of money. And it probably means very little to most people that are listening to this. But I'll give you a real world example of how that works. Let's say I'm sitting outside a cafe and I want to go and get a cup of coffee, which is $5. But inside is a barista who's getting paid $20 an hour, and he wants my $5 for the coffee. But instead of bringing my wallet, because I don't need to anymore, all over the ground are $5 notes. So I simply pick up a $5 note, take it inside, give it to the barista, and ask him for a cup of coffee. Sounds great from my perspective. The problem is, what's he doing there? He's standing behind that counter for an hour in order to earn $20 or 4 $5 notes. Well, why would he stand there and earn that money for an hour when he can simply walk outside the store and pick them up off the ground? That's what happens when you flood the world with fiat. It's worthless. So right now, I could take a $5 note and go and buy an energy dense jar of peanut butter. And it doesn't matter when I have that jar of energy dense peanut butter, it's still going to be just that. It's going to give me that energy. Whether it's worth $5, 1 cent or $5,000, it's still going to give me the exact same amount of energy. However, today my $5 will do that, but will it do it tomorrow? And this is what it means when you have a collapsing fiat. The value of your money today is not necessarily the value of your money tomorrow. Which is why we're going to be moving on to some form of digital-based currency, which will be crypto. And initially, governments will want to try and control it themselves. In the States, they'll probably try and back it with their gold. But the problem with that is they've got 8,600 tons of gold in Fort Knox and it hasn't been audited in 50 years. And even if they did audit today, how could you trust them? And if you can't trust them, how do you know that's what your currency is worth? Huh? See what I mean here? In this country, in New Zealand, we have no gold reserves. We've got gold in the ground, but we've got no gold reserves. So what do we back our cryptocurrency with? Well, we won't. We'll back it with maths. There are cryptos out there that are widely used and they're worthless. Ripple's a good example. It's the banker's cryptocurrency, and when they want to have more Ripple, they simply make more of them. It's centralized. In other words, somebody else has control of it, and they could make as many as they like, just like fiat. So cryptocurrencies like that are coming. They will be next after fiat, and they will be worthless. They will collapse as well. It's only when we move to the cryptocurrencies which are open source basically and limited in number, things like Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, only then will we get some financial stability. Unfortunately, that's a little ways off at the moment. Anyway, hopefully that gives you some kind of idea about fiat for now, and for the time being, take care of each other and have a happy day.
Announce a guarantee of $250,000 per account so there wouldn't be further panic out there. And that's what actually happened. If they had not done that, their estimation was that by 2 o'clock that afternoon, $5.5 trillion would have been drawn out of the money market system of the United States, would have collapsed the entire economy of the United States, and within 24 hours the world economy would have collapsed. Now, we talked at that time about what would happen if that happened. it would have been the end of our economic system and our political system as we know it. And that's why, when they made the point, we've got to act and do things quickly, we did.